Recently, I found an upcoming streamer named Marlon. Now he strikes me as someone who has the potential to be a massive streamer, but in his case, I think the fame will destroy him. Yes, he has the looks, the charisma, and the wow factor, dare I say. But based on a few things that have happened to him, I'm really starting to think that this could be the beginning of the end.
I turn around, boom, get hit in the face. That's when I realized it's 4 people.
If you're not sure who this is the Swedish streamer named Marlon. He's been making cameos on Lacey's stream and is found hanging around Faye's house. But if you're like me, you probably stumbled across him on X, where there's been a couple things he's done that have really gotten some attention. Marlon's first initial taste of fame came about a few months ago. I think it was one of the videos where he decided to show off some of his football skills. And honestly, it was pretty impressive. I don't know a lot of streamers that are able to do that. Being randomly good at things like that, and just being overall basically a male model. These are two characteristics that honestly most streamers don't have nowadays. But how could looking this good be a problem? Well, it wouldn't take long for people to find out that Marlon was streaming, and people that knew him personally knew a different side of him. Now, Marlon, being low on money at this point in his life, decided to be somewhat of an online entrepreneur and sell specific photo assets of himself, okay? He sold pictures of himself. That's pretty wild, not gonna lie. We're not gonna judge anyone. I don't know if I'll ever do that. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'll ever be at that wit's end. Hey, this is in my digital footprint. Maybe we'll clip this later. I don't know what would have to change for me to do something like that, but it would take a lot. And I guess for him, he made a couple $1,000s off of this, which is kind of insane to think about. But eventually, someone found out. This post on X went viral of a girl confronting him about these pictures. And this adds another layer to our story because Marlon is a Christian, or at least follows God in some way. And this girl who knows Marlon personally felt like it was her obligation, her moral duty to let people know about this. Here's what she had to say.
I'm exposing him because I have to stand up for myself. And you guys should know. You guys should know who you're watching. A guy that lies about drinking, about everything, how he's a man of God. This is not true. How is this a man of God? Please tell me.
I mean, paying $1,000 for a picture is insane. If Marlon later decides to do OnlyFans, I mean, he could retire within, what, 7 days, if we're being real, especially if he's on track to do what he's doing now. But I want you to think about how dangerous this actually is. Marlon at this point is not popular at all. And if someone's able to find a DM like this, it makes you wonder what else is out there. I'm sorry, maybe I'm wrong, but if you're willing to sell pictures of yourself, what else are you willing to do? You know what I mean? Like, where's the line for you at that point? And I don't think this would be as big of a deal if Marlon didn't upload videos to his YouTube channel talking about God. I think if he didn't lean into this religious angle as hard, it'd be much easier for him to almost like laugh this off. But because he doesn't, I don't know how you're going to come back from this, to be honest. But Marlon's someone that is not going out without a fight, and this was his rebuttal to the entire situation.
Hey, send a picture of a boxer standing like this in the mirror, looking stupid. Okay, I'll send that shit every day. What are you talking about? Because I know I'm a hustle for my shit.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna hustle. You know, I've said this in another video. Hustles amongst different people looks very different. Your hustle versus someone in a third world country is not the same. Okay, facts. All right, there's no arguing that at all. But I think the question, if some of you agree, is how suggestive were the pictures? It's gonna be tough to build a solid career when that is in the foundation of you coming up. But then again, the internet's so fickle nowadays, I wouldn't be surprised if people just look the other way.
And I'll do it again tomorrow. And I'll do it again tomorrow. 500, 200 there, 300 there. Brody, that's what I would make. That's what I would make in 2 weeks. You don't think I would take that? So yes. And you know what the crazy part is about this? He's not a man who did this. I've been seeing this. And 3, how many times have I not told y'all I used to send pictures to anybody who wanted them?
In some regard, you have to respect Marlon for standing on business here. Say, I'll send it again, and I'll send it to anyone that asks for it. That's crazy. So at this point, you're probably thinking, okay, so he sold some picture that is obviously terrible for your reputation, but how is he in trouble? Where's the danger? Well, when you're as good looking as Marlon, people hate you for being you. Regardless, regardless of them knowing if you sold anything online, okay? Marlon was in LA and he was going to a party that night. But before he stopped at the mall, he got a jersey, got his fit in check, and he met some interesting fans. He met a group of guys that just gave him a weird vibe. They said things like, "Oh, we'll see you later," and kind of insisting on that. Now Marlon, being charismatic, he daps everyone up, walks away, and as soon as he gets out of earshot, he lets the audience know what he's really thinking. And here's what he says.
He keeps saying, "All right, I'm gonna see you there. I'm gonna see you, bro." Like
4 times.
But for Marlon, the interaction wasn't enough to set off a red flag just yet. Marlon assumes the party's pretty big. Maybe he ran into a random person that would also be there and knew him. So we didn't think much of it. Fast forward to the party, Marlon does his thing, rizzes away, daps a bunch of people up, and then leaves. On his way back to his hotel, he gets mugged. Now the weirdest thing about this is, from what it sounds like, they didn't take any valuables from him. If they would have known Marlon's story, they would have known he probably wouldn't have been a good person to mug in the first place, because at this point in his life, he doesn't have a lot of money, and he's pretty tall, he's pretty athletic, so there wouldn't really be much benefit to mugging him if this were just a random criminal. But when Marlon explains the story, it sounds like they knew who Marlon was, making him think he got jumped for essentially no reason. The crazy thing was they had 4 guys that were there, and from a, dare I say, business perspective, there are much better things 4 robbers could be doing in terms of a return on investment standpoint, okay? If I had 3 goons with me, 4 including me, and I'm trying to make some money, I wouldn't hit some broke boy in the alley that's built and looks good. I'd hit an ATM. You know what I mean? With 4 dudes, like, this is something you wouldn't do if you're trying to make money. It's something you would do if you're trying to send a message. And that's a problem Marlon finds himself in. Here's Marlon explaining exactly what happened.
in, straight fist, boom. At that point, I'm like what? Like I didn't even comprehend it. It's like a hard punch though. So I'm like what who the f punching me in the back of my head? I turn around, boom, get hit in the face. That's when I realized it's 4 people. I just start swinging, bro. Like, what am I supposed to do at that point?
After Marlon explained all this, people started to speculate whether the people he met earlier actually did this. And honestly, I think this story makes a lot of sense. I think this is truly 4 guys wanted to send a message to Marlon because they don't like him. I mean, think about it. You have 4 guys, and the goal of you robbing someone is to make money. If Marlon was truly at this big party, he probably wasn't the only person leaving the party around this time, or even taking the way home that he did. There were probably 20, 30 other targets that these goons could have picked, but they didn't. Probably much easier targets, people that weren't as strong or weren't as tall, if we're just being real, had more jewelry on that you could see. Like, you wouldn't pick the tall guy that's strong, that looks like he doesn't have any money. You know what I mean? You just wouldn't do that. A video I made earlier on this channel was about Jack Doherty, who did get robbed for his jewelry. 4 goons came out with masks, they had guns, and as soon as they got the chains, they were out. As soon as they got what they wanted, they left. But in this scenario, it sounds like they were really just trying to beat the crap out of Marlon. I think hate for Marlon will be on the rise as he continues to get popular, making this whole thing worse. In fact, here's a clip of him that went viral on X of him and some FaZe Clan boys reacting to the basketball game. The more popularity Myron finds himself in, the more quote-unquote in danger he will be. That's how I see it. I hope I'm wrong, to be honest. I hope he eventually hires a bodyguard and kind of does what you need to do to move safely. But I can see the hate from other people being a problem. But Marlon's not the only person experiencing hate on the internet. Benson Boom, the bedazzled tracksuit wearing flipping guy from the Grammys, is being hated on for arguably no reason, and it's really funny. If you want to check that video out, click this video here.